Hi, Sean Barker here with Coach's Corner to give you squats and everything else in terms of lower leg exercises, body weight, or just a few light weights. And here's some exercise tips coming up so you can work all your lower leg muscles and a little bit extra without much or any fancy equipment. Okay, so the first is the body weight two-leg or bilateral squat. You want to make sure you can master that in a good form, and then we can progress to one-sided or unilateral split squats and lunges and all those type of things. Okay, so some basic squat tips. You want your feet a little bit wider than your hips, your toes pointing slightly out. Now this might change a little bit depending on what your hip mobility is like, but you'll get to see based on your range of motion how far you can go down under good form. But general tips, feet a little wider than the hips, toes pointing slightly out. Now, the bodyweight prayer squat, you get your hands together, or I even like to make a fist. That way you get that upper body tension, squeezing your arms. Now you have some stability and sort of weight and leverage in front. You want to think about pushing your hips back, but keeping your chest tall as you squat down as low as you comfortably can and come back up. Now, the keys are you want to try and get those upper thighs parallel to your hips and knees. That's like a 90-degree angle. You don't want to lean forward very much, and you don't want to round the lower back, okay? Chest tall. We're going fists together. Really push your hips back. Push your knees out to the sides a little bit towards your pinky toes. And if you look at my back right now, it's a nice neutral spine, which means there's no rounding at the lower back, or I'm not rounding down here, which a lot of people do. Basically think when you're squatting, somebody in front should be able to see the logo on your shirt, not including my fist head in front, but my chest is nice and tall. My elbows are staying inside my knees, okay? And the weight's predominantly on my heels, but I'm also using a tripod foot, which means pinky toe, front toe, and back heel is sort of the three contact points, making sure my heels don't come up, okay? Tall chest, nice neutral spine, and you come back up, really locking it out, squeezing tight at the top. Now, you can progress that body weight only by positioning of your upper arms and hands, known as the prisoner squat. You can go just fingers behind the head and ears. Now you're getting a little bit of retraction of that upper back. You get to work those muscles, and you really open up the shoulders, chest and shoulders. And then you do your squat the same, a little bit more instability now. You breathe in as you lower, keeping those shoulder blades squeezed back, and you come back up. Even more advanced in the prisoner hold position, if you can do it, is hands, fingers completely locked together behind the head. Now it's a lot more challenging to maintain this tall torso position as you squat, but also getting in a little extra upper back and shoulder mobility work, which is great. We haven't touched any equipment yet, right? You can even progress that further now without equipment by holding for time at the bottom, by coming down slower. So a couple tempo tricks with the squat, whether you want to go prayer hands, fist hands, or prisoner, and you could come down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come back up. That means we're just focusing on the eccentric or the lowering portion of the movement. We're increasing the time under tension. Or you can increase the time under tension in the bottom position. When you come down, you hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you come back up. That's considered holding in the isometric position, in the bottom extended position of the squat, okay? Still haven't touched any weight, but if you want to touch some weight and you want to hold anything in front, I'm a big fan of having some weight in front of your body known as the goblet squat. You can hold a dumbbell by its end. You can hold a kettlebell by the horns or the handles, as it's known, a heavy laundry jug, a heavy bottle of water, a heavy, any object that you can hold in front of your upper body. That challenges now your resistance in the squat, but it also helps you maintain good core and upper body stability. Same positioning now, but now we hold on to the end of a dumbbell or kettlebell. We rack our elbows into our ribs, known as the rack position, and we squat down, holding what's why it's called the goblet. Pretend the goblet is something you really like. You don't want to spill it by going forward at the bottom, and you come back up. Tall chest, Nice level goblet. You squat down as low as you're comfortable, or that 90-degree angle, or if you can get a little bit lower, that's fine, as long as you're not rounding the lower back, okay? Now, you can then play those tempo tricks with the two-legged squat as well. All right, progress the squat even more, back to body weight, but now we go to one leg split squat. A split squat is a stationary split squat opposed to a lunge, which we'll see later. A split squat, you open up, and you can use the same upper body progressions, prayer, hands, or prisoner hands. We open up from front to back. Make sure you got enough distance, and you get that stability first. You're digging in that back toe, you're squeezing that back side, you're loading that front heel. Then you lower down at the hip and knee, so that back knee comes just off the floor. And if you get this leg nice 90 degrees, upper thigh parallel with the hip and knee, and then you push off, keeping the balance, right? Pushing in that back toe, feeling that whole foot of the front foot grip the floor. And you want a slight forward lean as well to keep that core tight. Again, we don't want to flare at the rib cage and go loose at the lower back, okay? Tight core, slight forward lean, hands in front, or prisoner, down, up strong. And again, you can play with the tempo tricks with this one. You want to come down slow, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come up strong. Or the isometric hold. You hold at the bottom. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come up strong. Even more advanced, you mix two of those tempo tricks together. You come down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You come back up. Body weight progressions. Beyond that, you do the same by holding that goblet hold in front, or you can hold the dumbbell in each hand. Totally fine. I always like to load the weight in front when possible, and you do your split squats with the extra weight. Then you can also progress to an increased range of motion with body weight or weight in hand by elevating the front foot, or most advanced, elevating the back foot. So you can have your foot on something that's secure and elevated, a staircase or a stepper in this case, and you do your split squat there. Got to make sure though that back knee comes all the way to the floor if you're going front foot elevated, because if it's not, you're just giving yourself a false sense of progression, okay? Most advanced, you go to the rear foot elevated split squat. You can do it again with back foot on a couch or just a chair. Make sure you can master body weight before you progress to weight in hand, okay? Use a broomstick or foam roller if you need to keep your balance and hold that to the floor. You want your instep just sort of on the edge of a chair or couch, which is good because it's usually soft, a little bit more comfortable, okay? Make sure you got enough distance on that front leg. Use a broomstick or foam roller or something for balance, or even another chair if needed. Again, we can go prayer or prisoner, and we lower down with a slight forward lean, back knee just above the floor, and we push up, okay? Make sure you keep that forward lean, and we're not flaring at the rib cage and lower back, okay? That one requires a lot more challenge in terms of balance and stability, and even mobility and stretch on your hip. But the rear foot elevated split squat, or also known as the Bulgarian split squat, then you can load weights in hands, and you can play with all those tempo tricks. Just a few tricks of the trade to really light up those lower legs. Sean Barker signing off from Coach's Corner. We'll see you next time.